Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemmon. We'll soon be seeing the coldest temperatures of the season. Mild temperatures today, but it changes tomorrow with temps dropping well below freezing. Let's get a first look at our local forecast for more. Hey there, good evening to you. I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. Well, we have a winter system moving our way for tomorrow. For the rest of this evening, it stays mild and near steady with our temperatures. We hold at 41 degrees by 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, keeping it mild overnight tonight, and then colder air and a little bit of snow and a wintry mix will push in for Tuesday. But for the rest of tonight, our exclusive in-house forecast model does keep it dry. There could be a sprinkle or two under that overcast sky, but by Tuesday morning, we'll be watching for the chance for some light icing occurring across the Worcester Hills and even in Worcester. But notice our temperature at the surface about 52 degrees, so really higher up in elevation. Then our temperatures rapidly fall throughout the day Tuesday into Tuesday afternoon here. This down to 37 degrees with our temperature in Leominster and Worcester. That's going to transition us from the rain to a mix to some snow, and light accumulation will be expected once we go into your Tuesday afternoon, dusting to 1 inch across higher elevations with scattered coatings across the Worcester area. So coming up in our forecast, I'll have more on the hour-by-hour timing, plus another Arctic blast in the 10-day. Every year, Veterans Inc. serves hundreds of people for its annual pancake breakfast. This year was no different. As our Anna Botari explains, it's not just a meal, it's a chance for veterans to see services that are offered.
2 more minutes. All right.
Daniel Fuentes spent his morning in the kitchen at Veterans Inc. The nonprofit's annual pancake breakfast on Veterans Day is an event Fuentes celebrates.
Yes, I am a veteran myself, United States Army combat veteran.
He, along with dozens of other volunteers, prepared for months for this meal. But it goes beyond the food. They're also giving veterans a chance to connect with services they provide.
I mean, we have the gambit here for them. Hopefully a pancake is good enough, but anything else they need, whether it's services or just someone to speak to, hopefully we can provide that here in the setting.
Congressman Jim McGovern is giving thanks to the men and women who have served the country. He says Veterans Inc. is a special organization as they honor veterans every day and inspire others to do so as well.
We owe them a great debt of gratitude, and it's not just enough to say thank you and show up at events on a yearly basis. I mean, we need to be committed to our veterans each and every day of the year.
Veterans Inc. is prepared to serve more than 300 people breakfast. Fuentes says he's honored to give back to his fellow veterans.
Being a brother in arms and my brothers and sisters in arms everywhere, anytime I can give back, knowing what they've been through, having experienced all the things they've been through and the challenges they face coming home, I think for me it's essential and it's rewarding to come here and then put on an event like this with my fellow team members.
Anna Botari, Worcester News Tonight.
In Shrewsbury, Lieutenant Governor Karyn Polito delivered remarks at the town's Veterans Day service. The ceremony was held at the World War I Memorial at the Major Howard Beale School. The names of Shrewsbury veterans who have passed away were read during the memorial ceremony. The Lieutenant Governor spoke to the crowd on the importance of paying respect to those who have served.
The most important thing we can do for our military families and friends and the individuals who wear the uniform without question is to say thank you, to be grateful, and to never, ever, ever take them for granted.
Boy Scout and Cub Scout troops in attendance were able to meet with veterans after the ceremony. The city of Worcester honoring veterans with several different events throughout the day. Dozens were at a wreath-laying ceremony at the state's Vietnam Veterans Memorial at Green Hill Park. The ceremony is for all veterans who served in the war. Organizers say it's important to recognize veterans not just today, but every day.
We're going to lay a wreath today for all those veterans who are alive now and in front of our veterans who have perished during the war.
The city also hosts an event at the Korean War Memorial on Foster Street to recognize Korean War veterans. School committee member Diana Biancario was honoring her father who served in the war.
It shouldn't be the forgotten war, and this memorial certainly is beautiful. And there are times that I stop, not just for today, but other times, so the young children in our family know that their great-grandfather participated in the freedom that they have today.
And dozens came out for the Veterans Day Parade on Grove Street. The parade is co-hosted by Veterans Inc. and the Worcester Veterans Council. Veterans were honored throughout the state at parades and ceremonies to mark the holiday. In Pittsfield, dozens attended a short parade and wreath-laying ceremony. Our Valerie Bell is in Pittsfield with more.
Oh, say, can you see?
For more than 10 years, the city of Pittsfield has honored brave men and women who served with a parade and a ceremony.
All this stuff I did for veterans, I did it in memory of my brothers who never came home.
Mark Harris was in the Navy for 20 years and says he has an emotional attachment to days like today.
To honor all these people that were wounded or injured or lost close people that were close to them is very touching.
But like most people here, their time in the military is something they think about not just on Veterans Day, but every day.
I was in the Persian Gulf War on USS Iwo Jima. We had an explosion on the ship that killed 10 people.
Wreaths were laid in honor of those whose lives were lost.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
And for John Herrera, he took time to reflect on his time in the Marines and the members of his platoon from 1976.
You're there arm in arm, fighting side by side, and ready to do whatever it takes for your fellow soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine.
Harry Souls was wounded in the Vietnam War. He says it's a great feeling to recognize all veterans.
I think that it should have been that way all along. I mean, there's no difference between the veterans in Vietnam and the veterans in the Revolutionary War. I mean, we risked our lives.
He enlisted in the Navy when he was 17, and his wife Joanne says people don't realize how much of a sacrifice members of the military make.
It just reinforces how proud I am to be an American and how proud I am of the young boys who enter the service at such a young age to sacrifice for all of us.
In Pittsfield, Valerie Bell, Worcester News Tonight.
A Worcester business is saying thank you to veterans in a sweet way. Table Talk Pies is offering veterans free pies at their Green Street store. Our Cam Jandrow was at the store today. He joins us now with more. Cam.
Olivia, the store is usually closed on Mondays, but management thought it would be a good idea and a good show of support if they open their doors for the men and women who serve the country. Table Talk Pies is offering one free 8-inch pie to any veteran who visits the store. The longtime Worcester business says this is the first time they decided to offer the deal to local veterans, and they had a steady flow of vets go into their Canal District spot Monday. For the staff, it was an easy decision to open up and hand out some free pies.
It's really nice to see that people are celebrating and they're, veterans are spending time together and they're choosing to make Table Talk part of that time together by bringing pies for each other. And that's really special.
Worcester is our community. And these are our neighbors. And so we really want to be able to thank them. And I think another important piece to this is to thank the community organizations that are supporting veterans every day.
Table Talk will be offering the free pies through Wednesday, so if you serve the country and are looking for something to eat, you have a few days to head down. In the studio tonight, I'm Cam Jandrow, Worcester News Tonight.
A judge is set to deliver the verdict in the David Njuguna trial Tuesday. Prosecutors say Njuguna was driving high when he hit Trooper Thomas Clardy 3 years ago on the Mass Pike. Njuguna's lawyer says he suffered a medical emergency. This is a bench trial, so a judge will make the final ruling. 2 teenagers are arrested over the weekend in Worcester. Police say they crashed a stolen car. Worcester police say an officer noticed a car driving down Russell Street without headlights Saturday evening. The officer ran the license plates and realized the car was stolen. The driver sped away from police, eventually crashing into a police cruiser, hitting a crosswalk sign and a parked car. Police say one suspect took off on foot, ignored their commands to stop, and spit on one of the officers. Both 17-year-olds are facing multiple charges, including resisting arrest, receiving a stolen vehicle, and use of a motor vehicle without authority. A new survey looks at reasons behind an official shortage in youth and high school sports. Locally, some say it's harder to recruit referees and umpires because they don't want to deal with the backlash from parents and fans. Our Matt Restino took a closer look at the survey. He joins us now with more. Matt.
That's right, Olivia. The national youth referee shortage is here in Massachusetts as well. I spoke to the head of a local umpires association, and he said that recruitment has been very difficult. Referees for youth sports are always in high demand. However, fewer people are willing to take the job. Worcester Area Baseball Umpires Association President Nick D'Andrea says it's getting harder to recruit new umpires.
We've seen a huge drop-off from 30 to 40 candidates to 10 to 12. And within 3 to 5 years, those 10 or 12 are no longer with us.
D'Andrea says there are many reasons why these numbers are dropping. He says the biggest is a lack of respect towards officials.
Do calls get missed? Yeah, absolutely, calls get missed. But it's not one where people need to fly off the handle.
A survey from the National Association of Sports Officials found almost half of officials have felt threatened or feared for their safety. D'Andrea says he receives multiple reports every weekend of an umpire being harassed.
And that's not fun for anybody, because at the end of the day, it's an embarrassing situation for everybody involved, specifically the little kids that see it.
The majority of incidents reported are from youth leagues. D'Andrea says part of the reason incidents are so prevalent at this level is the lack of suspensions for coaches and players.
Right now there's a lack of consequences, and to be honest, the umpires, if they're not going to go there, become a target every day, and that's what we're seeing.
D'Andrea says it comes down to understanding the basic rules of the game. His organization runs seminars for leagues and coaches to teach the rules and address any questions.
I'd like to see more leagues and coaches take that up and say, hey, we'll come and talk to you about the rules, especially the ones you have questions about.
The WABUA is recruiting for next spring. Their first training class will be on January 6th, and you can find more information on their website, wabua.com. In Worcester, Matt Restaino, Worcester News Tonight.